What is going on, guys? We are back for another episode of Pokemon Top 5s. This week we'll be covering the Psychic typing, one of the most offensively gifted typings, really since its inception. Obviously in Gen 1, Psychics were just OP, and they've continued to be a pretty dominant offensive typing throughout the generations. Mostly offensive, but there are some really strong defensive ones as well. Of course, as always, guys, we will only be covering pure typings on this list, and this list is 100% opinionated, just like anything else. It's kind of a combination of design, it's kind of the way that I feel about it, whether I've liked using it, and then obviously its competitive nature. So, without further ado, though, let us hop in to number 5. Alright, so at number 5 we have Xatu, the mystic Pokemon. Now this Pokemon goes back a little bit to my culture, my history. I do have a little bit of Aboriginal, not much, but a little bit. And I just always liked this kind of totem full kind of Pokemon, right? Main ability, Magic Bounce, so it's very good as like a counter lead when that someone wants to use spikes or whatever, but this thing is really known as seeing the past and future, so just the lore behind it is super good. It's crazy to me that it just watches the sun all day. That's a little mind-blowing, but how those eyes are not just cooked into its face, I don't know. I do not know, but this thing really isn't that great competitively. It kind of has like low 60s in pretty much all of its stats except for special attack and speed, which are both at 95. So it really is the definition of a glass cannon, but without really the cannon part of it. But Psychic, Future Sight are kind of its main moves. Nightshade, Heat Wave are kind of its other offensive choices. Roost, Teleports, U-Turn are kind of your more support your team, Volt Turn, heal yourself up kind of thing, but it can run Light Screen Reflect and does have moves like Thunder Wave for support. Again, this Pokemon is really more low tier, quick offense, get out kind of Pokemon, but I've always just enjoyed the design of this Pokemon more than anything else. So without further ado, though, let us hop in to number 4. Alright, so at number 4 we have Reuniclus. Some people call it the hard body Pokemon, yeah, I mean, this Pokemon is very good competitively. Magic Guard and Regenerator are two very strong abilities. Regenerator heals you up when you switch out of battle, and Magic Guard prevents all non-direct damage from hurting you. So, you don't get hit by a life orb, you know what I mean? So you can actually have a boosting item for yourself that even if it does damage, doesn't really bother you, which is really nice. So but yeah, this Pokemon was genetically mutated, so it is kind of like a fetus, right? So but yeah, this Pokemon is unbelievably offensive. 110 HP, 125 special attack, and 30 in its speed stat. This is the definition of an offensive Trick Room Sweeper, is basically what this is. But because it's Psychic type, it does have access to Trick Room, and so it can actually set up its own Trick Room and then go on to sweep you from there. So very powerful. Calm Mind can boost up its stats even further. Psyshock, Psychic, so it can handle physical or special side. Focus Blast is a very good coverage move. Covers its dark type weakness for sure. It has reliable recovery with Recover. Heal itself up back 50%. Shadow Ball, Energy Ball are other common kind of coverage moves, and of course, like I said, it can get Trick Room on its own. This Pokemon, I really haven't got a chance to use it in like a Let's Play or Nuzlocke situation, but I have used it competitively. And it is quite powerful. It's a little bit more niche just because it doesn't really have the defensive stats to go with its high HP, so you know most Trick Rooms try to be a little bit more bulky, but as a secondary offensive Trick Room option, it's pretty damn good. So but without further ado, let us hop in to number 3. Okay, so at number 3 we have Espeon. The another evolution has made the list. Another Magic Bounce Pokemon, but this Pokemon is, you know, this Pokemon is more what you think of when you think of Gen 1 attack, right? Back in Gen 1, I mean, obviously this isn't a Gen 1 Pokemon, this is a Gen 2 Pokemon, but in Gen 2, you still had the physical special split, you still had special just being a stat on its own, and it was just very good on the special side. So it had 130 special attack and 95 special defense. This thing just, you couldn't hit it on the special side. It was unbelievable. 110 speed, and even now, right? Its physical side and HP are still all very low. Obviously the evolutions just have the same stats spread out and switched around. But Calm Mind is obviously an unbelievable move. Morning Sun can give it some reliable recovery. Psychic, Shadow Ball, Dazzling Gleam, all very, very good coverage moves for Espeon. Stored Power is also a niche move if you want to kind of go for Calm Mind and maybe get up a substitute, maybe you know what I mean? So this thing is quite good if you can have a Baton Pass team. It also gets Trick, Yawn, Reflect, Light Screen. I mean, this thing really can do a lot of things. This is probably actually the evolution with one of the best move pools as a whole, and so Espeon has always found a place competitively, and design-wise, I think this is a really solid design. A Psychic Cat, I mean, that works. The design works for me. Obviously, I've got to use it before, you know, playing as a child or whatever, so I do have a lot of experience using it, and I've always liked faster Pokemon that could attack pretty hard, and so I've always just enjoyed using it whenever I can. This Pokemon also likes to predict opponents' movements with air currents, so it kind of just senses the airflow, kind of like a little bit of an airbender kind of deal from Avatar, and it just kind of does its thing. So but without further ado, let us hop in to number 2. Alright, so number 2 we have Gardevoir, the Embrace Pokemon. Now, Gardevoir is actually one of those Pokemon that straight up would die for its trainer. It's one of the most loyal Pokemon to its trainer in Pokemon. And so this Pokemon is obviously very powerful. It almost made number 1 on my list for me this week. I ended up going with something else, but Gardevoir is really my first real experience with a very powerful Psychic type. Like I said, I played Gen 3 before I played Gen 1, and so for me, Gardevoir was that crazy good Psychic type that you actually had access to. And so, obviously its abilities, Trace, Telepathy, are its 2 main ones. Telepathy is more of a doubles choice, and Trace is just very strong, able to copy whatever your opponent's ability is. 125 special attack, 115 special defense, and 80 speed. And when it Mega Evolves, it gets 165 special attack and 100 speed. So this Pokemon is absolutely a monster on the attacking side. Fairy and Psychic are 2 very good typings individually, and combined they just become, they make each other stronger, right? Moonblast, Psychic are obviously very good coverage, and obviously when it Mega Evolves, it gets Hyper Voice, so Pixelate, and so any normal type move becomes a fairy type move, and that actually gives it Hyper Voice, which is a little bit more versatile move than like Dazzling Gleam, for example. Obviously at 80 speed, it's not really fast enough to be considered a fast Pokemon. It's a little too fast for Trick Room, but it is a decent Trick Room setter, especially in early VGC when it was able to Mega Evolve, like 2015, 2016 kind of VGC formats. Trick Room was used, and it was kind of your semi-room kind of style, right? A little bit too fast for Trick Room, a little bit too slow for regular play. You kind of use Trick Room just situationally. And obviously now it has coverage moves like Mystical Fire, Focus Blast, Shadow Ball. It's able to really do a lot of damage, and then when you get stuck, you got Healing Wish, and so you can kind of kill yourself off and heal up another Pokemon. It's very good. Obviously design-wise, it's kind of like a female witch, right? So obviously there are some people who have a little bit other opinions of it, but I'm not going to really touch on that. But with that, we're gonna hop into our number 1 slot for this week's Psychic types. Alright, so at number 1 we have Alakazam, and I really didn't have a choice. Alakazam is the Gandalf, this is the Dumbledore, this is the Merlin, whatever you want to call him. He is the Psychic type that you have to think of when you think of the Psychic typing in Pokemon. He is the OG Beast Mode, you know, absolutely amazing Psychic type, and has been amazing since its inception. You know, you know, you think of Sabrina, you think of whatever you want to think of. This Pokemon is literally only for the strongest of the strong trainers. When I think of a Psychic type master, how do you not have an Alakazam? How do you not have a Mega Alakazam if you're really the elite of elite? Obviously 135 special attack, 120 speed. One of the fastest Pokemon in the game for basically its entire existence. 135, one of the highest natural special attack stats in the game. It's probably still to this day. And this thing is just able to set up and just destroy you. It has Nasty Plot, which times 2 its attack stat. Like, it just, in one move, it just obliterates you. Recover, it gives itself reliable recovery, although it's kind of frail to use it. But Psychic, Psyshock, Focus Blast, Shadow Ball, it doesn't even need anything else. It has other moves, it doesn't even matter, it doesn't care. You get a +2 boost on this thing, it doesn't care. It's killing you with Psychic, even if it's neutral. And its coverage moves are diverse enough that it doesn't even matter. It's gonna kill you with a super effective move. But yeah, I mean, this Pokemon for me, as much as I love Gardevoir and I wanted it number 1 on my list, I mean, you can't, right? I mean, you just can't. Sabrina's too iconic. Mega Alakazam is even scarier. 175 special attack and 150 speed. Obviously does the same thing when it Mega Evolves, so you know, in terms of committing a Mega slot to a team, if you wanted to have a little bit different element with the Mega Evolution, you wouldn't necessarily go Alakazam, but you know, when you're just going for style points, I mean, Alakazam is the way to go. But with that, that is our top 5 list this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. I want to know what your top 5 Psychic types are. And of course, on any other top 5. We're kind of getting towards the end of the list. I think there's only a few typings left that we haven't covered. And so we will have those in the following weeks. And then after that, we'll have to see. I'm thinking about doing a season 2. I'm not totally sure what every week is going to consist of, but we're definitely going to keep this going. It's a little bit of a different pace for the channel, with a lot of Let's Plays and stuff, but I want to thank everyone for watching. Click like if you liked the video, subscribe if you really liked it, and I will see you guys in the next one.